Hello there, Azam here. So someone commented under one of my videos that they were having issues with using my presets. There were some complications with using these presets that I presumed that people would have known, but I should have addressed them from the get-go. So today I'm going to show you how to make the best use of these presets and the templates that I provided on my Patreon so that you can use them in your projects and save time. So let's get into it. So we will start with presets and from the bottom. So you won't be using this trim path. I tried to make it a circling trim path kind of effect under a preset that I recently uploaded a video about, but this doesn't really work. So we will start with this transition blur. So this is a simple blur that you apply in between the shots when you're transitioning between shots to show a smooth when you're transitioning from one map to another map, or you are zooming from very large map to a specific country in Geolayers. So this is how it goes. The rule of thumb to use transition presets that are in these presets bundle is to always apply these presets on an adjustment layer. Just go here, new, and create an adjustment layer on the layers you want to apply these presets to. So I will just double click this and select my adjustment layer, and the preset has been basically applied. This is a simple blur preset, blur transition preset that goes like this. And yeah, this is basically around 10 frames. It is just there to make the transition seem smoother. So these are some scenes like that. So it goes like this. I have used in many of my projects this kind of effect. So this is basically it for this one. Next I have this thermometer preset. This is basically a basic shape base of a thermometer infographic. I created this infographic in one of my tutorial videos that I uploaded on my channel. You can check that out if you want to, but this is how it goes. Double click this and it will open up a simple base of a thermometer. You just have to, what you have to do is that just duplicate this one and change the color of the layer below to white, increase the size of layer above like that, bring it down and remove the animation from the layer below. We don't want to add that, and paint the layer above the blue layer to the white, and you basically have a simple thermometer. And you can just make some adjustment to it, add some strokes to it. Just parent them to the white layer, close them, and if you want to add the emoji that I use in one of my videos, so this one, you can just add the emoji. So this is it for this thermometer preset. Next we have this text preset. For text, using text preset you should have a text layer. Right now I have this lorem ipsum layer that I have hidden. I will just bring it back and just hide these two layers and change the color to white. To use this text preset you should always have a text layer. So I will just double click this text layer and it will make the text appear like that, and then there is an outro after 10 seconds, but you can, if you want to decrease the outro time, just bring it closer to the intro like that. Select both of these keyframe, decrease the length of the layer, and yeah, you can have your text for like 4 seconds. It will come in like that, and then after 2 or 3 seconds it will go out like this. So this is basically it for this text presets. Next we have this text jitter. It will just make the characters of your words in a sentence make jitter. This kind of effect is used in documentary style videos. You might have seen this in Vox videos if you are following them on your YouTube. So yeah, this is basically it. Jitter effect. Let me just separate this layer and show so that it might render the preview faster, like that. So yeah, next we have this text bubble. So this brings up our text bubble shape just by double clicking this, like that, and automatically applies some animations for the intro and outro of this text bubble. All you have to do is that just click Y and bring the anchor point at the start from where you want the bubble to start appearing. I want the bubble to start appearing from this point, so I will just bring it here, and yeah, this is my text bubble. Then just add a text to it. Just parent the text to your text bubble and you have your text attached to it. So yeah, this is it for text bubble. Next I have tier vibe. This is again a transition. To use this transition, what you can do, go in between the scenes where you are cutting the scenes and just add an adjustment layer and double click this and you will have it. I change the colors from tint in the effects control panel, and yeah, this is basically it. The transition has been applied. So this is basically tier vibe. You can use the transitions layers above if you don't like it. Next I have this snow effect. Just double click this and you will have a snow on your map comp, and this is already applied. You don't have to add 3D layer to make it 3D layer. Just change the name to snow and you are good to go. And you can change the amount from here, change the direction from where the snow will be coming. I want the left direction to be left, so the snow will come from left. Let's separate this layer, and if I change the direction to center, it will come from the center. You can start your animation from this point. You can change the amount to 0 to start with, and just after take it to 21, so it will appear like this. Next I have some screen treatments. These treatments are used for, again, documentary videos to create this Vogue style nostalgic screen. I sometimes use these in map animations to show the past on the same map. So to use them, you have to again create an adjustment layer and just apply this effect, so it will appear like this. It will have some flicker, a bit of grain, glow, and everything already applied to it, but it will slow down the rendering process as well, so be aware of that. You can use these screen treatments to create this nostalgic effect. When you are talking about history, you can use them. When you are going to the past, you can use it. When you are showing some drama, you can use it. Just to change the vibe of the video, you can use these screen treatments. Next I have this scanner effect. So what this is basically is that it's a simple scan effect that you can have on your videos. So I have basically used this effect on one of my videos. So what this basically is that on any layer that you want to apply this scan effect, you have to duplicate it. For example, I want to apply it on the main layer, so I have duplicated it and create a mask on this layer. So this is a mask I have created, and then I will just apply the scanner effect, and right now it has been applied. So I will change the color to something like white. Then if I simply animate the mask for some seconds, so you can have a scanner effect on layer. For the harshness of these edges, you can always increase the feather to suit your needs. So this is basically the scanner effect that you might have seen in Geo all day videos. You can always decrease the opacity according to your taste if you don't like the harshness of the colors at this moment. Next we have again a text animation. So when you apply this effect, it already applies a drop shadow to the text along with an intro and outro for the text. Let's bring the outro to closer a bit and keep this text animation short. So this is how it's gonna look. The intro is gonna look like that, and then after 2-3 seconds it's gonna disappear like that. Again we have this retro screen, and again you have to first create an adjustment layer and then apply this retro computer screen on that adjustment layer. I have recently used this retro computer screen on my videos to show some news information from the past on a map. Next again we have a text animation. If I apply this, it's gonna again add an intro and outro for the text animation. So this is it for now. Next I have this pixelated blur. So what this pixelated blur does is that just blur a certain information that you are using just to hook the audience in a video and to show later in the video. For example, you want to talk about Burj Khalifa, but you don't want to show Burj Khalifa at the start. You are saying what is the largest building in the world, and you are showing some buildings. What you can do is that just blur the image of the Burj Khalifa. So here's how you can quickly use it. What I can do is that I can duplicate it and apply a pixelated blur. It just applies a mosaic pattern and a Gaussian blur to it. Okay, so next one, you can ignore the organic chart, and next we have this number counter. So what this basically is that it's a simple counting animation on a text. You just have to add a text number. Like for example, I have this 15 here. Let's increase the size a bit, and then if you double click this, you will have this deep glow already applied to it, a simple animation already applied to it. So right now it looks like this. So first of all, to change the symbols on both of these sides of the digit, you have to go to the text, the source text, and add different symbol here. For example, I want to add euro here, so I can add a euro here like that, and then I want to change the billion to million, so I can just change the million here, and then I want to make the digit dot disappear, so I can remove the 3 from here and make it 0, so it will have something like this. But if you want to say 1.1 million, then you can have 1 here, and if you want to say 1.12 million, you can write 2 here, and it will just bring up 2 digits besides the dot, something like this. To change the amount, you have to go this angle control, and let's say I want to go from 0 to 1.112 million. This is 0, and then I have this. Let's write here 1.12, so it will have something like this. So this is basically our counting animation. Next, again we have a screen filter, something like this. These have monochromatic dots on the screen and a flicker added to it, chromatic aberration also added to it, a bit distortion of the screen that you might notice in this video. So if we play, it's gonna look like this, a bit flicker and dotted screen. So let's move forward with the next animation. So again we have a text animation. Let's add a text first. This load up animation is basically a simple smooth text intro like this. Next we have this preset jitter object. So what this does is that add a stop motion kind of animation to objects if you apply it with an adjustment layer. So here I have this adjustment layer. I will just double click this and you will have something like this. The best case use of this is on an object. So let's add an object. For example, we have this rounded rectangle, and I will apply the jitter object to it. So it will have a stop motion kind of animation. Next preset is about icon styling. So this basically is used for adding some strokes and drop shadow to icons that we use in our animations. For example, I have this icon. I will just drag the icon, increase its size a bit, and double click the stylize the icon kind of animation. A stroke is applied from layer styles, and a drop shadow is also applied. You can change the settings of both of these, drop shadow and stroke, from these options. Let's decrease the size to 3. Let's increase the drop shadow opacity to 100. So yeah, this is for the icon styling. Okay, next we have this highlighter effect. So what this does is that basically add a stroke that looks kind of rectangle that you can use to highlight a sentence or an important point from an article. Let's bring it to here and maybe increase the stroke a bit. Bring it beneath the text we have, and maybe we will see. Let's apply a drop shadow over text and change the color to a bit darker. You can also customize the length of this one by pressing G, and which brings up the pen tool, and just selecting an anchor point and dragging it to the point where you want the length to be. So this is how it looks kind of, but this is basically for highlighting a sentence from in an article that you are showing. Next we have this highlighter stroke. So what this creates is a circling strokes that you might have seen in Geolayers videos. So it looks like this. Let's bring up the outro closer so that we can see the preview faster. So if we separate the layer, it basically looks like this. You can adjust the circumference of the area that this stroke line covers by dragging these anchor points using pen tool. You can play with it according to your wants. Okay, next we have this heavy flicker. This is again a filter for the screen. To use it, you have to create an adjustment layer and apply the flicker. So it will just add a flicker to the screen, but it will increase your render time for the previews. So be just mindful of that. So the basic rule for the filters is that you have to add them with an adjustment layer. You can't just double click them and apply them. You will have something like this, which is not very useful. So next, this one is also my invention. So I created this grid background, which you might have seen in Geolayers or other videos. So how this works is that you just double clicks and it creates a background that has already a fill, a gradient ramp that circles the focus of colors, then a grid, then again a grid to just give it a bit depth, and then a transform to just add a bit distortion to it, then a glow, and then a Gaussian blur, and then an unsharp mask and a grain to add a bit nostalgic effect to it. So how to use this one for your map animations? You have to bring this layer below your map comp, and just again I have shown this one in my time zones video, how to set the stage if you are using a background for your map animations. So I will decrease first. I have to decide my max zoom out for the map. Let's say it's 2. Then I will just make the pitch 0 for some reason, and also the bearing 0. and I will just add my map, make it 3D and add it to our map comp anchor. So this is basically it, how you can add let's see how it looks. So if you are gonna have a scene where the map is gonna zoom out like this, then you have to increase the size of your background like this. Make sure to make it 3D and attach it to the anchor. Another thing that I have discovered I've figured out for using this background in a way where you don't have to again change the size again and again throughout the video, is that when you are about to add this background, first let's just delete both of these and change the length of this composition to a 4K length, and then click this grid BG and add the background. And you will have your map comp like that. Let's say our max to zoom out is this, and the maximum exposure of the background is gonna be something like this. We are satisfied with it. So just make it 3D and attach it to the map comp anchor, and next just bring the original dimensions back. So now you have this huge background that won't allow any empty areas to be seen in the video. So one precaution about that is that when you have a 4K background, you will increase the preview render time. So I just use a simple one, just this one, and then I just, if it's not gonna be taking much screen time on my map animation, then I'm just gonna use it like that. Maybe increase the size a bit like that, and don't rasterize, so use it like that. So this is how it looks, and this works for me. I use it like that. Okay, next again I have this screen filter, and it distorts the screen a bit. Okay, so next I have applied this gate weave on an adjustment layer, and it looks like this. So how you can use this is that when an explosion hits a country, then you can have an adjustment layer with the fade in and out animation applied to it along with this gate weave preset, and it will shake the whole scene for a moment. For example, as you can see here, if I apply fade in and out, oops, it's not gonna be applied. So I have to just manually add. Yeah, so you can use it something like that. So let it render first. So it's gonna look like something like this. Like you can use it to show earthquakes in cities, or a very large bomb dropping in cities, or in your nuclear warship theme map animations. So yeah, this is gate weave for you. Next we have flicker and glow, and it's gonna look like this. And again, for explosions you can use this. It's gonna flicker and glow the whole scene for a moment. So it's gonna look like this. It's you can use this to show radiations, danger, or the effects of war. Yeah, this is basically flicker and glow. Next we have this fill animation. This is for text. For example, we have a text here, and I will just apply this fill animation. It's gonna look like this. So it makes the text appear like this. yeah, this is basically it, a simple slide transition. Next we have a white fill. This basically just applies a white fill along with a drop shadow to layers. For example, I have an icon of a war. For example, let's take this person icon. I use this a lot in my icons. For example, we have this icon, I want to make it white along with add a background to it, so I use this fill white preset for it. It adds a drop shadow and a fill to the icon. Next we have a digital vibe transition. Just double click it and it will bring up a pixelated vibe transition that you can use to transition between scenes. If you want to change the colors of these pixels, you can go here. Let's change it to black and gray like that. And yeah, you can make this transition faster by selecting all the keyframes and dragging the last one to the midpoint. So yeah, it looks like this. Next is a simple deep glow. You already know what it is. Next, again we have a counting preset. This is similar to the number counter that we used, but this one has no deep glow applied to it. For example, if I write 14 and apply this preset, I used mostly this counting preset and it won't have this glow applied to it. Sometimes we don't need the glow, so you can just have this and change the settings as I showed earlier for these billion and this dollar sign and this digit if you want to remove it. Next we have a classic vibe transition, a very clean vibe transition. You can change the colors from here. Let's change it to the color of ocean and bring these two keyframes at exact the moment between the cuts of two scenes. And similarly, let's remove this. You can make this faster by selecting all and dragging from the last keyframe. And yeah, you can have your transition like this. Next we have this circling trim path. I recently created this effect. I will provide the updated preset bundle on Patreon along with this tutorial, so make sure to check that out. So let's see how this circling trim path works. Let's say we have this let's say we want to create circling trim path stroke effect on this Iran map feature. So how we are gonna do it with this circling trim path preset? So I will just duplicate and hide the other stroke. Let's say I have this stroke, and let's zoom in a bit to make sure we have everything under control. And let's trim this one first, and let's bring up the circling trim path. So when you apply, you will have a in and out running trim path like this. Got it? And next what we are going to do is that we are gonna just duplicate this, and now we have the one that is rotating, right? So now we just exactly need another stroke element that's gonna run opposite to the one that we already have. So all we have to do is that change the offset in and offset out of the any one of these layers. So I will go with the layer below the Iran 4, and let's just add 180 degree to make the rotation totally opposite to the other stroke. Let's also add a 182 here, and now you can see that we will have this circling trim path effect applied on a map feature. What you can do is that you can change the settings like I am gonna do here. Let's change the offsets to 1 circle, and let's just decrease this one. Let's make sure that before the rotation ends, the circling trim path disappears like that. And now when they appear, and just in between their movement we can just add a stroke with simple trim path applied to it, like that. A simple end animation on a trim path. So when it's all finished, you will have something like this. So in between their movement we have a complete stroke. It looks a bit smoother, a bit professional, I think, and makes the overall animation a bit more dynamic. So in this way you can use this circling trim path effect. Next we have a caption preset for it's a text animation. Let's write a text. For example, I am an angel, and let's apply this caption preset. So it's a simple minimalistic slide up kind of animation on a text. So next we have another blur transition. So this is the blur transition that I basically use to transition between scenes. It makes the transition look smoother. So me show you quickly how I use it. I have a transition, I have an adjustment layer, and next I will just bring up this, and when you bring up this you will have something like this. So I will show you a use case where I have recently used this. So yeah, I have used it here like this. Yeah, so this transition had this effect.
Number 2.
Let me show you on the file how I have used it. So here is a use case of that blur transition. So I have applied it on an adjustment layer between two scenes, from this news article to the mapcom. So let's see. So this is how it looks. To use it more accurately, you would have to keep a couple of things in mind. For example, just its midpoint should be on the last frame of the first scene, or where you are cutting the first scene, and it should be look like something like this. And then on the same point, exactly this point, there should be the peak of the mapcom camera. For example, if you check out the zoom keyframes, you will see that the peak is exactly at this frame. So this will give you a smoother transition and give you the best results with this blur transition preset. Next we have these black fade transitions. So these are basically just ignore this black fade transition, and similarly the black fade 2, just use this black fade 3. And what this does is that adds a very large long circle, and if you look at the keyframes, it's a simple position animation, and you have to turn on the motion blur on it. And again, when you are at the midpoint, for example here, just add a marker and bring it exactly between the cuts of the two scenes. For example, let's bring back the scenes. So the transition will look like something like this. Next we have this arrow. To use it in your project, you just have to double click this. It will add an handwritten kind of arrow with the intro and outro animation already applied to it. You can just trim the timeline of this layer. So this is how it looks. You can increase or decrease the stroke. You can also customize the shape. Let's see. You can increase it like that. You can add a shadow to it. Similarly, this is arrow 2, and this is also an arrow, but the shape is a bit different and the color is a bit darker. You can always bring it back so it will look like this. it has this roughen edges effect applied to it. So yeah, this is basically it for the presets. If you have any more questions about it, let me know in the comments and I will try to address those questions. Okay, so this is gonna be a part 2, and where we look at some of the templates, how you can use the templates that I applied on the Patreon. For example, let's go to search. These are the about 14 templates that I provided, and this is the kind of black fade transition that we saw in our presets. Similarly, you can just you can also use this one. This is a simple drag and drop composition of a black fade transition that you can apply in your projects like that. At this point, you can add the other clip. Next, we have this bullet point template. So this is basically a label template. So what this basically is that it shows, you can show river size using this template, or you can show the temperature in a certain region. For example, you can have your, for example, we have this Finland, and then you can show that it has this temperature. Yeah, so you can use this as to show temperature or certain data set in your videos. So to use it as a label, what you have to do is that first let's just first try to add this to our label templates. So let's see if it worked. So we have our comp1, the template here. Let's try to add this comp1 and add the label feature. So you will have the template here. So next one is a countdown template. This is the template that I use. So to use this one in your videos, you have to drag this comp, and when you are about to say at number 5 we have this country, so you will add start, make the start at that point. For example, the animation starts here. So when the number 5 country description completes and the number 4 is about to come, for example, we have the script and the number 4 comes at this mark. So you will just drag these keyframes that bring up the transition from number 5 to number 4 for the whole this composition at this point, and after a second you will have this transition to number 4. Similarly, when the number 3 completes at, let's say, at 15 seconds, you will bring up this close, and then you will bring up number 2 here, and then when number 1 comes, you will bring these 3 set of keyframes closer to the timeline at the exact point where the number 1 is about to come. Next, we have this distance scale transition template. Let's see how this works. So to use it, this is a simple scale transition. I will just first make the pitch and bearing 0, and then bring up this, add this scale transition. Let's say we want to add it on Strait of Hormuz. Can we do that? So yeah, I think this works for us. Let's add it to the preset tree. So yeah, this is how you can use this distance scale. Next, we have this person icon template, and yeah, this is not very useful. I have updated it, and this is the updated one. And here we won't see the icon of a missing file. The missing file is actually basically the image that I used in my template. So to use the template, I have to have a PNG image of a leader. For example, here we have Narendra Modi, and I will add it here, and I will just copy paste the effects that I applied. For example, I added a Luma mat to the image mat. I have applied it. Then I had applied a position animation from bottom to up on this image placeholder, and I will just remove this placeholder at this point and just adjust my person image as I like. So I think it works for me. Then I will just make it 3D and apply a simple position animation to it. So it works like this. Add the name of the person here, and yeah, this is basically the usage of template, and then you can apply it on your map like that. Let's decrease the size so it works like here, and you can increase or decrease the duration of the whole element outro when it should go out or disappear by dragging these pointers. So this is it for now for the template of person icon. Let's see what we have next. Let's go to templates. Yeah, so this is again a picture label. So first we have to add an image that is missing at this point. So let's find a random image. Let's say we want to add this image. We'll select the missing image and just drag the new image at his place and delete the missing file, so we won't see the next time we open this project the missing file error. So let's adjust the new image that we have. It's already been parented to the shape layer. So all we have to do is just adjust our image. Maybe, yeah, I think this works. So this is it. Again, if you want to use it as your map comp label, you have to paste this main layer, main composition to the label template folder. I will add it here, and then I will just go to Iran. First select this picture label, and then I will add a label of Iran. For example, now I want to change the image. I can simply change the image by double clicking this label and going here and maybe finding another image, something related to Iran. Maybe this, sorry, no, this one, maybe this one. And yeah, size will increase or decrease of these images, but you can just adjust them. So this is the way to have this label usage. Next we have this question pop. This is again a label that you can use at the start of your videos if you are starting your short video with a question, and then you can add which country has most nuclear weapons. For example, you are saying this at the start of your script, then you can just add a slide in from left to right and have this question label pop up on random countries, 5 to 10. Let's see how it looks. Again, to use this question pop, I will go to the main question label and paste it to the label template. It will appear here, and I will just click it, and if I click Iran and add a label, I will have this. So now if you see, so it will appear like this. Similarly, if I want this question pop-up to appear on Saudi Arabia, for example, I am saying that which country is Iran going to bomb next, then I can just add it here. So a similar case applies to the next two templates, the red label, which is something like this, and the red pin locator. I think it's the same one. Yeah, it's something like this. The pop-up circle is a bit tilted in this one, in this version of red label. Next I have this 6-word sentence, and to use it, just drag the sentence template here, and yeah, just add the text here. For example, and you can decrease the designs of these rectangles. Let's say I want it to just have this much scale, and for the upper one I want to have this much scale. So it will appear like this. So you will have this text animation opener that you can just make 3D and then parent it to the anchor like that. So, and you can increase or decrease the intro or outro from this by dragging this end of this layer. It will be reactive to the camera like this. And yeah, next we have this timeline template. So this is basically just a timeline template that I already made a video about how I created this. To use this, just drag it on your timeline. Let's delete that sentence first, and to change the dates, remember that the date that appears is this one. So it goes like this: from 2016, 2016, 2020 to 1980. You have to change the dates according to your project. I start from 2026, and then if I want to go back to the past, I have the date at the end, and then I just add random dates that gives the illusion that we are moving between the years. So you will have something like this. So this is basically it, and you can change the colors of the shapes of these. You have to change the color of 3 elements: the text and these small rectangles, and then this base. So yeah, that's how you can use the timeline template. And let's go for the next one. This is a similar traffic locator, and this is a yellow flag label that I used in one of my recent projects. And similarly, you would have to paste it inside the label template like this, and then just select it from here. For example, white label, that's the one we added, and just create the label feature, and you will have this Iran label popping up with the template that we used. So this is basically it for now. I hope you found this sort of go through tutorial on how to use the presets and templates helpful. And if you have any confusions, questions, just let me know, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. thank you for watching and supporting my work. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.